Ambessa, but then I think it really just all came crashing down at the failed 5-man play top from Sentinels that opened up the opportunity for Zven to balloon his individual gold lead, and the Yunara was never again approachable by Sentinels.
Yeah, and then really nice from Cloud9 after that to utilize their power to set up before the objectives, gain their small advantages first, and blow the game open, steamrolling it from there. I did like in that interview how Blaber gave a lot of respect to HamBak and mentioning HamBak in the top 4 junglers, the best junglers in the LCS at the moment. And it was on display in the last one. You know, very good early Ambessa play. It's just like really hard to play the game afterwards.
Those are our 4 junglers that are still alive in the LCS lock-in tournament as well. So I guess you just need a top 4 jungler and you're guaranteed top 4 team. OP roll
wins as usual.
There you go.
All right, so getting into this second game, you can see Sentinels once again banning out the Ziggs and the Aurora, respect to the Cloud9 solo laners. They'll also take Nocturne off the table. Both Orianna and Azir are going to be banned out by C9. Azael, you mentioned in the draft for game number 1 how Taliyah is one of those champions that can really stop Azir from being able to do what he wants to do, and how they love to draft Taliyah anyway for APA, but now that that's eliminated through Fearless, Azir is going to remain banned here alongside the Nico, and Sentinels will lock in the Rumble. I mentioned it on the series on Friday. Rumble's win rate in LCS is bad.
It is, but it got better after he mentioned it. They won that game.
Okay, he doubled his wins from 1 to 2. Now he's 2-9.
How many games has he won out of his last 1 game? 1.
This is a chat stat right here, man. This is
his
a
last
chat
game. Could be another win right here.
How tilted are you going to make flowers before we get into game 2?
100%.
100%. I'm upside down.
Galio is kind of the other obvious answer to Rumble. That's generally what people will go for when Aurora is banned out, as it is here. So curious to see if Thanatos wants to play that style. I think with Vi getting locked in, I would expect Galio on 3 if Vi does get locked. It's just such a strong combo already. You have a really good AD carry, but instead it is going to be the K'Sante as the answer here for Thanatos.
Yeah, easy tank to play into it. K'Sante also has an easy time getting early magic resist. You can go Kanik Rookern if you're facing double AP lanes. The only situation usually now where you don't face double AP lanes if the enemy is a Rumble is if they have Yone. So Sentinels could make this a Yone comp, but it's DARKWINGS. So I don't think it's going to happen, so I think it's going to be a double AP comp, so I think you can just go Kanik Rookern.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of basically every team right now. We talked about this on the Dive Flowers, but it's out of the top 20 picks in mid lane, there is 1 AD mid laner, it is Yone. Out of the top 20 picks in jungle, there's 0 like true AP. There's like, you know, like a Maokai or a Set1 or whatever. You have to go down to like
that does magic damage.
You have to go down to like 23 to get Diana. So basically, it's just always AD in the jungle, AP in the mid lane, every single game in pro meta these days. So yeah, I mean, it does make tanks in the top lane have a really easy time on how to itemize when there is an AP top laner.
So we have mirrored picks here in the first half of the draft. I think we all do.
I saw him at a Magic tournament recently, actually.
How do you?
He's doing well.
Bjergsen or the guy with the sign?
I mean, well,
both. They were both there.
Okay. That's why he misses him. He saw him at the tournament. But, all right, we've got junglers, top laners, and AD carries drafted for both sides here. It is the Jhin alongside the Rumble, so a lot of long-range damage support for the Vi and whoever else is going to go in. We've got the Wukong drafted for Blaber and the C9 side. Let's see what we're going to get with the bans here. There's that Yone ban that you're talking about.
They're paying the respects, even though you know, it is DARKWINGS here who really likes playing control mages in mid lane. They're respecting the champions themselves and the comp that you can make with it.
And it is interesting though, yeah, he has 3 games of Yone all time in competitive and 1 and 2 on the pick. So definitely not a DARKWINGS pick. But they are going to respect it. And, you know, Cloud9 did talk about how they felt like they failed in their preparation, you know, last summer, coming into playoffs, and that was one of the reasons that they wanted to play FlyQuest again after having just played them. You know, being able to rely on that preparation, so they're trying to kind of check all the boxes here.
How quick do they make that K'Sante sign, huh? He got that instantly.
He was just prepared.
It gets locked in.
Takes one for every champion, and then just pulls it out. You know, that's preparation. That's thinking ahead.
That's how you get shown. All right, let's see. The Annie also following it up. We haven't had the Annie picks, but we do keep getting a couple of these straggler little bands there. If you've got Wukong, the Wukong Annie is the bread and butter.
I've also been seeing a little bit of Annie support. People are doing some kind of like cook builds with Bandle pipes and Rylai's and stuff. I've been seeing a little bit of that going around. So who knows? Maybe that's something that Vulcan has been trying in solo queue. Also agree, it does just feel like APA champ. The Galio is a great APA champ. So even though it was not going to be a Galio top, they do still respect that, and we're just going to get a control mage here. So Victor is a good takeaway from DARKWINGS. That's definitely something that he is very comfortable on, and probably, APA is just saying, all right, he's going to go a control mage. What is a good control mage against other control mages? And Victor generally outranges in a lot of these matchups, and you can kind of just laser poke and farm it up and play pretty effectively that way.
I feel like Hui is a pretty common answer into this. If you're just saying, okay, we're going to go control mage for control mage, you took Victor first. Hui is just kind of like Victor, but he didn't make it into Arcane. So sure, he's also there. He got to do fine. He's serviceable. He can have plenty of wave clear, and you can really pop off if you can get a big spiraling despair in a team fight.
And it's a DARKWINGS comfort here. So
yep.
With a Vi, it also does make it easy to like set up the big AoE combo from Hui. So you get that guaranteed engage. So we'll see if he can stay safe though. Sometimes, a lot of times, Wukong makes it very difficult for Hui to play. We'll see about the engage.
You know what I would actually really like is a Renata from Vulcan. I feel like Renata goes crazy, but maybe they just want to guarantee some engage. It just feels like there's so much dive that's coming through, and it's just about absorbing that initial punch. So to me, Renata could be incredibly strong if they wanted to go on hit Varus. You're looking at Vi, Rumble, at huhi on the Rakan as well. They're all gonna be diving in, but considering some engage options himself, so just wants to be able to start the fights.
Yeah, I could definitely see for Cloud9's side, you want something with Wukong, like you get your point and click now with Nautilus, so the way that I think was already going to have a difficult time staying safe, now if you get point and click on your head, either Hui or the Jhin, it's very, very hard to get away from Wukong and the Cassante coming for you, and I'm assuming the Zven is going lethality Varus here, so the long range, damage over the top as well.
Just stay safe, bro.
Seems like Cloud9 are going to put a lot of pressure on those immobile carries, but you could say the same thing the other way. Yeah. So whoever gets the early lead there,
they're gonna put pressure on both sides.
Well, the last game, remember, was decided largely by AD carry gap, right? C9 played around Zven. They enabled Zven. He was up to, what did you say it was, Azael?
8.6K.
8.6 thousand gold individual lead by the time the Nexus fell, and there was just no answer that Sentinels had for him. Now, of course, if you're playing Lethality Varus, it's a very different champion. It plays a very different role in the team as a poke champion instead of just being that hyper carry. So I don't think it's going to be that again, but I also think for Sentinels, you want to see your bot lane bounce back a little in this one.
Yeah, you really do, and I think they're going to have a good series from the bot lane if they want to make this competitive. Rahel has been a standout player. I think he has been very, very strong for Sentinels. He, to me, is their primary carry. When you're thinking about how this team is going to be able to win a series, that's the guy that generally does take over. Going to be interested to see how Impact plays this out. He's going first strike, so just thinking about it, less about dominating the lane and more about just kind of farming gold off of Thanatos, being able to get to those item power spikes faster. And then, of course, first strike does scale really well as a damage rune into late game because it is that percentage damage amp.
Yeah.
And it is going to be lethality Varus as he's playing Comet.
That is crazy. Huhi now passes Bjergsen for third all-time in North America for games played at 612.
They're just rubbing it into that guy with the fan sign.
Oh, no, yeah, sign guy.
Oh, yeah, you missed Bjergsen? Well, guess what? He just lost a record.
Oh, no.
Kind of messed up, production team.
The update on our battle for the most assists here, you can see it is still Impact, comfortably sitting with that silver medal. Like Azael mentioned at the start of game number 1, Aphromoo is way out in front of everybody else, so they're not really competing for the gold here just yet. The bottom lane, Zven and Vulcan getting the slightly better trade over Rahel and huhi here nice and early. Both junglers this time are starting on the top side of the map, pathing towards this bottom lane compared to the crisscross starts of last game.
And I think that's more about the repeat clears for these junglers, both Wukong and Vi ultimate reliant. And you just want to set up your camp respawns in a way that you're going to be pathing towards how you think you're going to win the game. And so they don't want to pay as much attention to top lane, to Cassante lane up there. So try and get down. And again, like you're both saying, the bottom lane, incredibly important here. And the junglers are also saying that.
So game one, pretty one-sided, but last time we saw C9 in the best of 5, it was one of the fastest in LCS history, 5th fastest, in fact, against FlyQuest, 80 minutes, just a hair over of total game time. So we'll see if they can continue a race towards that, try to get close to that, or maybe even one-up themselves.
I've cast an LCS game, a single game that was longer than that. So that was a fast series. Huhi's on a fast roam towards mid lane here, though. You can get an early flash out of Victor. That could be...
Yeah. Ooh, or APA will just step in front of him casually and not even worry about the roam.
I like it, and the crowd clapping here for some of the footwork from APA. Dodged out on the damage afterwards too, so he doesn't even, go too negative on the trade there.
Yeah, really well done there by APA. He was already winning the lane against DARKWINGS, and even with that pressure coming through from Huhi, he's in a great spot. Huhi's still hanging around though, looking to try to see if there's anything he can get done here.
He is invested in this. Meanwhile, you can see HamBak has made his way onto the top side. Scuttle Crab, considering the enemy support is now roaming, C9 knows they have total control over the bottom lane in terms of the push, in terms of the priority, so that's very easy for Wukong to pick up that crab too.
And APA getting active in chat, hits him with a good gank XD.
It's the XD that's the diabolical classic, letting them know you absolutely do not respect what they are trying to do here in the mid lane. We still have not seen either of our junglers get active, so Kobe's initial prediction is, we've got the yap cam. I like how he still bothers to capitalize both the X and the D.
But look what you can see. That top line that was up there, that was half cut off, it said good luck, have fun at the beginning of the game. So he starts it out on good terms,
Raises you up so he can slam you down.
Yeah, the good terms last about 3.5 minutes.
Good luck, have fun, idiot.
All right, our junglers are doing exactly what you predicted, Kobe. We're just farming till 6. We're trying to unlock those ultis, making sure that they can play around what is expected to be the win conditions down here around the bottom side. The first Drake this time around is going to be Ocean Drake. We know that those also feel really good if you can get them while the laning phase is still, active. So if we can see a big play, a big fight perhaps around a third crab, that could lead into a Drake here as well. APA with a very bursty trade here onto DARKWINGS. Extra auto attack with the Airy there at the end, and APA just keeps controlling this mid lane matchup.
I mean, Wei just keeps using QE on the wave. He's just trying to actually AoE down that wave, the kind of mini Rumble equalizer. And every time he's doing that, APA is just stepping to the side of wave and stepping forward and just looking for that trade. Has really good range, can trade through with that Victor laser.
And I want to see if that cannon ends up getting melted and just dies in mid lane, because APA pulled the wave. So that cannon, the cannon for DARKWINGS, the whole wave just gets annihilated here on the recalls. APA getting back in time for his own cannon too. Oh, gee, that's just GG right there. Where's the chat?
That's just where's the typing after that?
Bro?
Cannon XD.
Yeah.
He is controlling the wave very nicely here so far, as DARKWINGS and Huhi again going to step into that bottom side river, try to get some vision control.
And it gets him level 6 advantage here over DARKWINGS. So, walks back in, he'll soak up some experience, but it's gonna remain an experience lead for him. Bot lane pushing in, mid wave control as well.
That's why Sentinels were trying to set up the vision down here, but it's C9 first to the crab, and Blaber and the Crabbers do what they do best. Crab secured, Wukong level 6 secured, HamBak still only level 5 on the Vi, so if they want to try to take any sort of a fight, it will be tough.
Winning lanes, really nice for junglers, especially with the plan on everybody's minds now of this next crab that spawns in front of Dragon, bottom side for the spawn of crab, also just means, in the words of Blaber, game is over. We got the bottom crab into the Dragon. That's going to guarantee our first and second Dragon. So let's see if that comes true.
I mean, it's kind of the lotto too, having the crab spawn on that side with the winning lanes, and the Dragon is right there, and it's an Ocean Dragon. Right? Yep. And Ocean Dragon this early on actually affects the lanes quite a bit, especially when you are playing some of these matchups like Thanatos is playing on the top side against Impact, where your regen is going to matter a lot. And now we're seeing HamBak try to look for a potential play here.
Yeah, he's thinking about maybe going towards the top side. Thanatos has already used the all out, and he has to flash to escape. Does not want to get caught out by HamBak there. So ulti for ulti in the top lane. Flash still available for impact, though.
Interesting. So Blaber during that time also got to finish his blue buff. Can he finish this as well? He didn't have a smite for the Gromp.
Okay, now HamBak's going to force Blaber out of the jungle. Does find about half his health bar in the process as Impact and DARKWINGS are both rotating over to back up their jungler.
So honestly, pretty good for HamBak there because, you know, he comes in with smite ready. He can just yoink away the Gromp that Blaber had been working on. And just by showing himself, he got the flash out of Thanatos. So HamBak with a little bit of value play here for the jungle. It doesn't like win the game or move the needle that much, but that's some decent value after they did lose out on bottom side Crab and Dragon.
Yeah, it's a nice little play, trying to get something back. And Impact in a pretty good spot. I mean, the farm is even, but he has been able to get one plate, and he's been farming some gold with First Strike as well. So Impact's in a pretty good spot.
Okay, let's see if huhi ends up meeting the welcoming party here. Is not going to overextend himself. As Blaber, though, trying to go in. He's overextended, trying to steal away the enemy blue buff. Drops the clone to try to defend against the curtain call, but it's APA who's going to be killed off first. First blood over to Sentinels there in the mid lane for DARKWINGS, but Zven gets one back into HamBak. Nice damage from the piercing arrow, but it's a double kill for DARKWINGS.
They pull the trap on the invade. HamBak is not going to let you get away with that, Blaber. The bump onto the blue buff into the Jhin root, really nice, and so they forced out the flash for Blaber early on, so they knew they wanted to follow the play. Here's another look at it. It's Q from HamBak onto Blaber on this side, but on the other side, APA, right in their faces, goes down first.
Well, the biggest difference is Impact made the roam, right? Impact actually just walked down there with no TP, so I think that is the real surprise here for C9, is Rumble shows up, immediately flashes in as soon as the fight starts, and they're like, oh crap, like we don't have TP on either top laner. We thought it was going to be a 4v4, so as soon as he's there, the fight is looking really bad for Cloud9.
Yep.
That being said, that couple hundred gold lead for Impact did vanish because Thanatos took 2 plates on top side, and there was some CS lost for Impact as well because of that roam. So whether or not that was worth it remains to be seen. Yes, they won the fight, but the gold really didn't move at all in their favor because of it.
400 gold lead here for C9. Next Drake not spawning for another couple of minutes. The grubs are active, but I know, Kobe, you are a big proponent of mentioning the grubs are just not that appealing these days. I mean, physically, they were never appealing to begin with. They're the ugliest thing that's ever been on Summoner's Rift, but even in terms of gameplay mechanics, they are just not that good. Sorry, grubbies. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, I mean, they're the leftovers of Summoner's Rift.
Oh, no.
When somebody makes a play somewhere else, you can go get the leftovers.
Okay, APA is going to continue clearing out this wave here. Still about a 600 gold lead, though, for DARKWINGS. And we were talking about how good APA was doing in the lane earlier, how well he was sidestepping huhi's additional pressure, how well he was farming, how well he was controlling the waves, and DARKWINGS was kind of just trying to respond to that. But now those couple of kills have really got DARKWINGS right back in the game.
Yeah, DARKWINGS back in the game, but it's once again a very big early gold lead for Zven. Last time around, Zven, of course, on the Yunara hyper carry, able to win the entire game for Cloud9. This time around, Zven on the Lethality Varus is going to be super annoying on top of it. You know, the poke damage from Lethality Varus in this game can get you so much. As far as the leftovers of Summoner's Rift Flowers, HamBak will go over and grab those by easy time, jumping in the back of the pit and jumping right back out.
And Zven's hit a couple of good piercing arrows so far this game here, too. You just saw that take about 1/3 of Rahel's HP as he nails him with the full charge there underneath the turret. So Lethality Varus doing some good work here so far. Does have his Yumu's Ghostblade, is stacking the tier. He's going to hurt a lot if C9 can do what they did last game and set up around the objectives and make Sentinels have to dodge those bullet hells. And you can see the MasterCard Power Spike for Thanatos has been completed. The Kanik Rookern that you guys were talking about, you build it against double AP solo laners. This is where Cassante starts to feel comfortable against the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking really comfortable now. And I mean, Rahel had to take a pretty rough base timing there, so even more damage being dealt to the tower. Also, shout out to Cadril and Tarek tuning in, and hopefully we'll give you guys a competitive series here.
We have had a lot of 3-0s this weekend, just early warning. And Cloud9 handily won the first game. Currently, though, setting up on Dragon. See if Sentinels are going to go for the engage. HamBak charging up.
Okay, HamBak wants to jump in. APA is going to be your target yet again. The curtain call opens up. APA is already down. A lot of damage coming out, though, the other way around, and that's 2 Sentinels dead. 2 dead on the C9 side as well. Zven back into the Dragon Pit as the Equalizer drops on top of the objective, and Thanatos is still looking for his angle. C9 have lost 3. Sentinels have lost 2. Junglers are out of the picture on both sides. Thanatos still trying to fight here, open up a little bit of space for Zven, who wants to steal it away, but no, the Jhin, Rahel, secures the objective.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a 4th shot there, and he loaded, and he was just waiting to get it low. So DARKWINGS gets it low enough. Boom, 4th shot, even with a Varus, not able to steal it away. With both junglers down there, Sentinels make a big play, and HamBak in the brush onto APA. Look at right out of here, he goes straight for APA, gets the bump into the Jhin route, and they immediately assassinate him with the follow-up.
I mean, it's just really nicely done. Huhi is there for the follow-up. The Jhin all over the wall is landing the damage. And Zven was kind of just trapped in the pit here, awkwardly tanking the Dragon. The Equalizer doesn't actually connect on anything, but it does push Zven out the back. He has to flash over the wall. And then Zven is just staying around trying to see, all right, can I actually steal this? He's hanging out the bottom side looking for that. And Rahel sitting on the 4th shot. It did go down to about 289,
so
close. Was an opportunity to steal it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just focused. Everyone is focused. Nobody talk while I'm trying to steal this. And then afterwards, okay, didn't get it.
Yep.
But yeah, 4th shot, Jhin and Varus are 2 of the AD carries that are very good at stealing objectives when no junglers are around. You know, on the new patch, of course, the new season, when junglers are around and smites increase damage, makes it really hard to steal stuff. But that was a fun one. And Sentinels here, striking back here in game number 2, evening up the Dragons. Let's see about this bottom side, though. A lot of participants.
Yeah, and I mean, Zven is still out to a very big lead, 1.5K. He got another kill. He is really strong this game, so gonna be pretty annoying. There's a lot of squishy members over on the other side to be able to poke away at. No true tanks or anything like that. Obviously, there's some tools to be able to absorb, but they're going for Zen.
Yeah, they want a full send after that. Varus, HamBak goes in with the Equalizer right behind him, and Zven is cooked. Sentinels have found their first kill, and now they're trying to get everybody out alive. HamBak is taken low, but Blaber's got to be careful. Impact goes underneath the turret. He does get rooted up by Vulcan. Sentinels, are they going to get Impact out? Not quite. It was nearly perfect, but they still make the play.
Yeah, really good play once again. They come at 3 angles at Zven. Flash Vi ultimate into Rumble ultimate into huhi follow-up on the Recon. They take him down. HamBak surviving there with the Sundered Sky healing, doing a decent amount of work as well. Unfortunately for them, Impact at the very end does barely go down to the last shot, but still a very successful play and taking down the Varus. That is the only one with the gold lead on the side of Cloud9. Clearly, Sentinels here with a really good attack plan. huhi ults early for the move speed to be able to follow up, and it's just a really nice flash ult from HamBak, knowing they've got Impact for the follow-up.
I just like how proactive they're being. They know that Zven is a really strong member. They know he had no flash because of that earlier Dragon fight, and so HamBak has no hesitation to just fully send it on this play with everyone around. And Impact getting very, very strong, has earned 365 gold from the first strike. Has opened up a pretty good lead for himself here, as might have a Herald fight.
Okay, Herald started by C9. Got it already down to just 3,000 HP, but Sentinels are hanging around the area, and it looks like they're going to choose to just walk away from this one. Blaber can smite down the Herald, claim the eye, no problem, no contest here from Sentinels. But C9 are now behind. That shutdown on Zven, that's stopping him from farming and becoming the monster that he was in game number 1. Very important for the Sentinels comp. What is the play that they need to do now? Like, what's the game plan to continue keeping this one close and trying to bring us our first not 3-0 series of the weekend?
What Sentinels need to keep doing?
Yeah, what do they need to do to keep this going strong?
Keep on pressuring these lanes here. They have opportunities. You saw Rumble waiting in brush. And with these pick tools that they have, with a Vi and a Recon, they can make quick plays with long-range follow-up here. So Cloud9 have to be a little bit careful with setting up their defensive vision to watch for these plays from Sentinels and see if they can keep this up, because they do have a lot of range, some very quick possibilities.
Agreed. Vulcan has the Locket now, which is going to help a little bit. You know, obviously playing with Summoner Heal and the Locket to try to absorb that initial engage. And huhi going for the Mikhail's Brush, which is something he has just been doing non-stop on basically every champion. Does have a tremendous amount of value. And I think it is going to be pretty useful this game, especially against catches from Zven, you know, with that ultimate.
Yeah. See if they can pull off something here. I mean, battle over vision is the first step. HamBak charging up there is, unfortunately for him, a ward on the backside here. That's providing a lot of value for Cloud9. So no little surprise play going to happen this time around from this position. Sentinels, they definitely have no idea about this one. Nobody's sweeping, so everyone kind of converging, though. There are teleports for both top laners, and Impact generally getting the push first, so would kind of benefit them, but Dragon is on the table.
Okay, they're moving down there. Sentinels first.
Victor ult no, down for this fight now. Rahel down to 50%.
Yeah, Rahel is chunked out. The Rift Herald is going to be summoned up mid lane to put pressure onto the tier 1 turret, while Sentinels still trying to make sure they can defend this objective. Thanatos and Blaber were working on the Drake here at the same time while Sentinels are distracted, making sure nothing bad is going to happen to Rahel. Impact still hanging around on the flanks, seeing if C9 is going to overcommit towards this Dragon so they can look for some sort of an angle to punish. Rahel still has Curtain Call. He can contribute from a long way away. Vulcan engages. They're trying to find the burst here onto huhi, and they barely miss out on killing him. Now C9 still looking to see if they can make this fight happen. APA does finally burn huhi down. Vulcan barely staying alive. C9 take the objective and 1 kill.
Ooh, barely burns him down with a little tick there, and Cloud9 forcing the objective. I really like the vision toggle from observers to show how C9 were making this entry hard for Sentinels, claiming these brush this time and not presenting an early target. And then C9 also, don't let huhi get a free entry. Immediately going for this recon. Because every time they've allowed Sentinels the initiative,
if you guys are the next pick, I want to fight, I'll be here.
I also was clicking up.
Yeah.
I can move down to Dragon right now. I had top wave.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. If you got the wave, I'm down.
Okay, think about Rumble some.
Watching, you can go recon, Phil.
Yeah, I'll go.
Take it.
Look recon.
Okay, got Drake. I'm looking Vi.
Recon 1 HP.
Yeah, I'm on Vi.
I'm playing slow,
Yeah. Nice recon.
We got Rumble.
Nice, guys.
Alright, we got Rakan.
These are clean comms. These are really clean comms. I like the information that APA is delivering every time. You know, top wave is already covered. I can come early. We get the early positioning, and then we target the enemy's initiation so they can't get the jump on us again. And C9 rewarded multiple times.
And that is one of the big differences that C9 will tell you between APA and Loki as well. You know, Loki just did not communicate as much. Obviously, it is a second language. APA is a very vocal player and is going to be really comfortable communicating what he thinks you should be doing in the game. All of that information has been pretty useful for them.
Yeah, and we've heard multiple times, too, really confident listen-ins on these comms. He's like, you know, I can go on this play now, and then he'll also follow it up with, I'm going no matter what. So it's not really a debate anymore in some of these scenarios, and that kind of removes any sort of doubt from your teammates as far as positioning to follow it up. But nice decisive play there from Cloud9 to kind of retake.
I think huhi might have just pressed the wrong button because he just used the quickness in the jungle while he was walking up towards top lane.
Sometimes you gotta go fast, brother.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you just want to run really fast through the run fast zone in the jungle with the Cloud Rift, but huhi not having quickness means that Sentinels are going to have to be a little bit more cautious about taking fights here until that is caught back up. DARKWINGS getting comboed down pretty heavily by APA, but HamBak is ready and waiting. APA with a Seeker's Arm Guard, staying alive for now. Spiraling Despair, can't kill him. HamBak's now got to be on the lookout. huhi coming to try to protect his jungler, but Blaber has gone in here for the Cyclone. Thanatos right next to him. Zven's here for the additional damage with the piercing arrow. HamBak's going to fall, and Thanatos takes the kill.
I mean, APA, that was very nice. Really good reactions from him instantly to be able to deal with the attempted play from HamBak. But honestly, the setup from Sentinels, also a pretty decent one from them. Unfortunately, the rewards for Cloud9 are going to be huge positioning advantage around Baron. And now Sentinels have no smite, no jungler, so they just have to 4-on-5.
Yeah, Impact's already made his way in here with a teleport. Keep your eyes out for the equalizer. Vulcan there with a Hex Flash trying to catch Sentinels as they want to stop the Baron. It's already down to 2,000 HP. Smited by Blaber, and C9, 21 minutes into the game, secure the Baron. But now they got to try to make sure they get everybody out. Thanatos and Blaber both low on HP as the curtain call opens up. Vulcan's going to body block the shots as APA has made his way back, and C9 will walk away successful. No deaths after the Baron.
Big sequence there for C9. The Zhonya's gets revealed, you know, able to survive on the top side because of that. Even though it looked like a good look there from HamBak and DARKWINGS, they can't kill him. it's this Q flash that comes out here. DARKWINGS is trying to bait him. He's trying to go a little bit aggressive. Takes a lot of damage, but as APA steps forward, Q flash, ult, all the CC is there, but they cannot 100 to 0 him, unfortunately. The stasis is enough.
And the stasis is so much value because he immunes the pop on the ultimate from the Hui. And this is why pro players very frequently, almost always, Zhonya's first, then flashed afterwards. Because when you Zhonya's early, that makes HamBak stay around for the follow-up play, because HamBak's like, oh, well, we got to finish you now. So HamBak stays there by your Zhonyas, tries to Q you out of it, and your immediate flash afterwards makes sure that the follow-up play could be there from Cloud9, resulting in now them wearing Baron and taking towers.
Yep, those towers are under pressure as Impact got knocked down below half HP. He was forced to flash just to not die there. They cannot afford to lose Impact on the Sentinel side. He's the only one with an individual gold lead so far in this game. After C9 had their big swing with the Baron, Thanatos is just going to mine more plate money off the mid lane tier 2, and it's the C9 push in multiple lanes, really trying to build this lead even further.
Yeah, this is going to get pretty difficult here for Sentinels. Of course, they do have good wave clear with the Hui. But it's scary. They're losing control of this whole area of the map.
Yeah, and huhi's just about to get 100 to 0 there thanks to the hook coming out from Vulcan. One support catches the other, but now Sentinels are once again in a 4v5. Vulcan nearly gets an additional dredge line there to Impact. APA swooping in from the side as Thanatos keeps everybody else occupied. He wants to go all out, and DARKWINGS tries to flash, but he still falls. Thanatos fighting for his life, but he finally drops. Meanwhile, Impact's cleaned up over in the jungle. C9 might have lost their top laner, but they got 3 kills in the process.
Yeah, really nicely done. And APA kind of reinforcing from the side made that fight very awkward for Sentinels. It was hard for Impact to really get involved, and then Thanatos finds an angle to go very far, get the kills. They're going to be able to push up this tier 2 tower bot. They're going to be able to take the dragon at the same time, move themselves to Soul Point. As huhi's trying to clear out some vision here, he just gets 100 to 0. Mikhail's or not, you can't survive.
I mean, the whole squad jumps out of the bush there, out of your jungle. That is fully lit up. Look at all these wards Cloud9 have, control wards at that through Sentinel's jungle. So they know it's hard, but then this is a tale of 2 top laners. You know, Thanatos is able to get the kill with the extra little support from Zven over the wall here, the long-range sniper. And meanwhile, the Rumble does not fare as well as a Cassante in those types of numbers disadvantages. So even though you can buy a little time with the Zhonyas or something, the all-out allows Thanatos side to get the extra kill on Cloud9, continue to increase their gold lead. They're looking at that Dragon Soul not too far away.
Well, they're looking at Sentinels first as HamBak tries to jump in. huhi goes for the quickness, but he only finds the Wukong clone. That is not the engage Sentinels wanted, and C9 will just casually walk away from it.
Blaber did have to trade out the Cyclone, though, to disengage there, so he used that to get away, so it is a trade of ultimates at the very least, but see,
yeah, there's your flash engage coming out from Sentinels. They found their pick onto Blaber, or have they? He goes over the wall, just trying to get back away. Blaber with a fancy feat, staying alive as HamBak dies to the Arcane Storm. Blaber's still cooking, and now Impact needs the damage on Zven, but he cannot find it. C9, beautiful outplay as DARKWINGS is going to be your next target. The damage is there as Blaber has made his way back in. One more crushing blow might do it, but he can't quite land the damage. Blaber's still burning, but APA's got the rampage killing the DARKWINGS. C9, don't lose a man.
What? He just E'd to him and got behind him as the Q was released from Vi, so he doesn't hit him? That was crazy. That was crazy work right there. What the?
And he's staying around at no HP till the very end of the fight. Goes back in, procs Thundered Sky on 2 people, then goes out. Looks like he's going to burn down, gets Triumph, and lives again. So this was pretty wild. Again, I like the look here as Blaber's walking forward. They know he has no ult, so they go immediately in onto him. Too much overlap, unfortunately, on the CC, but then flash over the wall, E back to where HamBak was, sidestep on the equalizer, gets around it, trying to heal back up. The locket comes through, sidesteps as well on that Q coming through from DARKWINGS, and then at low HP, he's trying to heal back up. He goes back in for the Sundered Sky heal after cloning to the side of that Q. And then, all right, surely we kill him here. He's about to burn down. Nope. Triumph heal saves him again.
Crazy.
That's a wild team fight.
I like how we're also just going over how Blaber lives instead of all the rest of the members just killing Sentinels.
Well, we've got another kill on Sentinels here in the mid lane as Vulcan and Blaber work together for the pick on Rahel. Now that that Jhin is out of the picture, this is what we were talking about at the start of the game. Like, the bot lane for Sentinels has to perform because Rahel feels like the main carry of the team. When that Jhin is down, C9 know they can just force their way through the front door and the mid lane inhibitor falls right after.
If you weren't sure before, this is why Cloud9 have really clearly been put at this #1 spot in the LCS. This team, the teamwork here is looking really good. The individual plays have been very good for them. I mean, they have a really heavy handle on this series. Maybe Sentinels will be able to bounce back still, but this gold lead, it's only 27 minutes into the game, and it's already 7,000, plus the Dragon Soul that we mentioned is now only a minute and a half away, and it's a Cloud Soul at that for all the extra speed to chase them down.
Well, we got to follow the more important story, Kobe.
Super weeks?
How is Thanatos doing in the player of the game race?
Oh man, another one where it's hard to get player of the game.
2 games in a row. Let me know.
I mean, I think Blaber was correct in the interview where he was like, well, in order for Thanatos to get a player of the game, all the rest of us have to play worse.
They're doing too well. They're all out here. Where's Thanatos?
I mean, he's still doing pretty good.
Got in.
But it's definitely like less than the other guys. Last time around, it was only like there. So yeah, I think
we're improving. We're scaling into the third game.
He was having some fun there. The Cassante at the bottom tower, you know.
Okay, teleports coming in from C9 here as they are posturing around this Baron yet again. Sentinels trying to do something about it. And we did have a couple of ultis used back and forth here as now Blaber, once again, he's the target from huhi, but he sidesteps the Grand Entrance. Not super afraid of that one. Thanatos with Pathmaker just going to force Sentinels back again. This map is so dark and so scary for Sentinels right now. C9 are lurking around every corner trying to set these traps with the Nautilus for the pick, with the Wukong for the follow-up, and everybody's fair game.
Yeah, you've got vision advantage leading up to the Dragon Soul like this, and you have Victor and Varus poke coming at you, plus the snap initiation, point-click Nautilus Soul, Wukong follow-up. It's just terrifying for Sentinels to approach, but they're trying to do it. They're working their way in through the jungle.
Oh, that was close. If that dredge line would have hit huhi, Vulcan surely would have set up yet another pick here for the C9 side. Impact is first into the river for Sentinels as C9 have control over the Drake pit for now. HamBak only at 2/3 HP. When the Vi goes in, he's in some serious danger of getting bursted down if the team's not right behind him. huhi takes damage from a single piercing arrow. Thanatos off to the side, trying to deal with Impact and Darkwings there in the 1v2, while the rest of C9 engages, and huhi is already down. HamBak in the middle of everybody will fall second as Thanatos goes all out and drags Impact all the way in. Blaber picks up a killing spree there onto Rahel as Darkwings knocks Blaber down, but it's only his Guardian Angel, and now it's an out of mana way. He's out of space, he's out of time, he's almost
dancing.
out of there.
They're
okay,
dancing,
they're just gonna
bro.
dance. I was trying to do the whole tempo call, but they're just gonna rub it in. There's the ace for C9. They're gonna take the Cloud Soul, and the only thing they get to use the speed for is a faster march to the enemy Nexus. 29 minutes into the game, 11,000 gold lead, and C9 is going up 2-0 in this series, showing why they are such heavy favorites.
Yeah, APA was like, all right, I'm gonna let you live for a while, and then Darkwings tries to do a combo. He's like, I'm gonna fear you and teleport away. Doesn't matter. Next game. Honestly, though, that fight was beautiful. Like, Cloud9 were able to dissect Sentinels really well. Yeah, they already have such a huge lead in the game. It's also pretty easy to execute. But again, this team, the synergy is looking really, really good. What do you think, analysts?
I think the synergy is looking great.
Yep. A little too good.
I also think we got to the point where the Sentinels composition just did not do damage.
Yeah, and we got to that point really, really fast, faster than probably they anticipated as well. You know, they have a hard engage comp, and when you can't hard engage onto the champs that are poking you, it's simply not going to go well. So that happened really early in this game, and yeah, the comp just kind of fell apart, and they just have to wait and